What's up, good people? Welcome back to the Game Changers podcast. Let's go. During peak Warzone 1, prominent online tournament organization Dialed Up Games reigned supreme over the competition. Despite the organization's success, rumors of misconduct and mismanagement began to circulate. Did these rumors hold any merit, or were they simply just slander from disgruntled losers and cheaters seeking revenge? Our very own Redman Lyons has first take information and first-hand experience with Dialed Up Games. Not only was he a tournament participant, he's also won several tournaments, and he also had suspicion. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear what Redman has to say.
Let's talk about the first one. And the first time I ever seen you in the tournament, because like you said, y'all wasn't in a lot of the bigger tournaments. Right. But the first time I ever seen you in a tournament, it was in the Dialed Up tournament.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Dialed Up Games, right?
Right.
So, and the first time I ever seen you being interviewed was Dialed Up Games.
Yeah.
And he interviewed you right after I interviewed him. They never had a podcast, right? They didn't have a podcast before never mind. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Right. I didn't know that.
So, yeah. So I interviewed him.
So what's been the biggest obstacle for you and the team, like developing this from the beginning to where it is now? What's been the biggest obstacle so far?
Yep. The biggest obstacle certainly has been combating the negativity that can come from an online ran company. You are certainly bound by nothing and responsible in no way to how you act or react online. So people can say or do or react however they choose to react, with absolutely no negative repercussions or ramifications for doing so.
Yes. And
we have been at the tail end of that on multiple occasions. The boldness that I had spoke of, to do divisions and the ethical boundaries that this company has is phenomenal. It's truly underappreciated, and in my opinion, and because of that boldness and that high integrity, it has got us in positions that have been negative. And I think that combating those negatives have been the biggest slope for us, I would say.
Yeah.
But luckily, as cream does tend to float to the top, these things are becoming more apparent. I will just go on record to say that a lot of that negativity came from the act of banning or DQing cheaters from the tournament.
But so what happened with Dialed Up Games, man? Like, what was your experience with Dialed Up Games?
So bro, this is one of the trickiest things I've ever experienced. But to be honest with you, I don't want to name names, but we know who he is. The owner of Dialed Up Games at the time was Yellow Fett. We had a pretty good relationship. We talked to each other. He came on my stream. He kind of like, I don't know, he kind of instilled something in me that like really a lot of other companies and bigger people didn't really see, I felt like. So I was pretty cool with him, to be completely honest. So I used to run in the Dialed Up Games tournaments. They used to let us run for like a discount price instead of paying the whole entire thing. So I used to run in them all the time because, when I pay the discount price, if we win the tournament, we'll get a pretty good amount of money back. So they used to run duo tournaments, trios, solos, all types of tournaments. And I used to try to make sure the chat enjoyed them as well. So I tried to make sure I ran as many as possible. So probably like 4 or 5 tournaments deep into the Dialed Up Games tournaments, me and one of the guys I used to run with, Xify, you probably remember X. I used to run with him all the time, and we used to play in those tournaments. And one tricky thing happened a few tournaments in a row that we really didn't understand, because one thing that they did not do that we didn't understand, they never showed like the leaderboards or the teams that you played against. So we was always named Team Never Lacking, right? Because at the time, that's what we were. We never seen the other players or the other teams that was playing in the tournaments. So say like, for example, we would have a high score that tournament, right? In a duos tournament, we would score like a lot of points. We would get a lot of kills and we would get wins, because that would add on to the points, the total points, right? Me and X would like, say like, for example, playing some duo tournaments, we would have like 350 points or 500 points or something. Yeah. And then just some random team that we never know, like we don't know the players on the teams because they didn't say, and we don't, what I'm saying, stuff like that. We didn't see them stream or anything like that as well. Some random team with players that have no name would be so far ahead of us. They would have like 200 more points. And I'm like, bro, how did they get this many more points than us? So we can't come to find out. And I don't know if this is true or not, but like this is a illusion or a conspiracy that we have. We feel like they was putting in fake teams on the leaderboards so that they wouldn't have to pay you like first place money or second place money or third place money.
Right.
Now, like I said, I respected YOLO for a while, but come to find out, they was like scamming people. They was supposed to be paying people that came in first place, second place, and stuff like that, and they wasn't doing it. So, that's one of the things that, you know, Dialed Up Games, that's kind of why they're not around anymore. I feel like a lot of people kind of caught on to like what they were doing when it came to scamming people or not paying people the right amount of money that they owed them and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I'm really not in contact with YOLO anymore. And yeah, that's kind of what happened. But yeah, that was one of the weirdest things I've ever been a part of. And it was definitely something weird that we had kind of caught on to like probably 5 or 6 months. And another thing is, bro, that I'm gonna tell you. So we won a tournament. We came in first place. We didn't end up getting paid out for that tournament until like 2 to 3 months later.
No way.
And that was another thing that kind of just like, okay, I'm not playing in these tournaments no more because, bro, there's no way we just won this tournament and you're not going to pay us out until like 2 or 3 months later. So that was another thing. Like it just kind of just went downhill because I don't know if the funds started doing weird stuff or I don't know what it was, but it's like they was always charging people to play in their tournaments, but they wasn't paying people out correctly. And that's where they kind of fell off at because people started accusing them of scamming and different stuff like this. You can't be charging people $20 a piece to get into a tournament and you playing trio, so that's $60 a team. But then at the end, you're not paying people out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, that's kind of where their downfall came from.
And you know what? I had him on the show, and I heard the rumors like while he was, before the interview, and I just wanted to, I was giving them not the benefit of the doubt because I have no authority, but I was just curious about, was this a legit tournament organization or organizer? And their stuff looked beautiful, man. The studio they were live streamed out of, how they had the stream set up, the way they came in and out of scene transitions for the tournaments, it was fire.
Everything was fire. So, it was, man. I agree.
And I was like, okay, maybe let's get him on the show so we can talk about his platform and dispel the rumors. And he basically said that, hey, man, they're haters or disgruntled participants that lost in the tournament. Yeah. And that's basically what he said, that's what that was. Yeah. And to come to find out, fast forward maybe, I don't know, 4 months later, 5 months later, or however long it is, they're not around anymore. Right. And a lot of those teams or tournaments, they ain't around no more.
Right. Now let's go change the game.